activity, no? For spearheading this activity for the students here in Iloilo. So, my name is Dr. Wilangelo I am a medical doctor and an orthopedic surgeon based here in Iloilo. During my high school years, I too became confused, no, on what course will I take, what profession will I choose. The feeling is what normal. No need to be ashamed of that. Kitanan man kita, nakaagi sina. The key is to have a proper mindset. No? You have to be open to all possibilities. You have to list down the things you want and narrow it into a manageable number. Then do your discernment. You have to think of it, no? Parang dumon gid maayo. You ask yourself, will it be the thing that I love? Will it be passionate? Will I be passionate about it? What is the demand of my profession in the locality, in the country, and overseas? The other thing to keep in mind is the monetary aspect of the profession. Can it be funded by my parents? Do I have the means to support myself? Are there scholarships offered? Will it be enough to support myself and my family in the future? We, will it be financially rewarding? No? So as you can be able to save up, no, enjoy, do travel around places, and be able to invest in business opportunities. One more thing is you may also want to ask respected individuals in the community so that you will have a different perspective. Then decide what is best for yourself. Do not let other people force you to do otherwise. Because if you are not happy, you will run out of motivations and easily give up. You will eventually lose interest of going to your classes, thus drop out of school. In the long run, it will be just a waste of time and money. The route towards medical profession is a tedious process. You will have a lot of high and low moments, like much like a roller coaster ride. But you have to get through it no matter what. You should pass with flying colors. That is your goal. You should focus on your prize. It will take about 9 to 10 years of hard work before you become a bona fide medical doctor. You will have to pass licensure exams in order to practice the profession. A lot of hospitals around Panay presently needs hospitalists for their manpower. One can be employed and start service, then you will get compensated by a monthly salary. Immediately after I passed my licensure exam, I decided to pursue further specialized training in orthopedics. It took me another 4 years and another year for board certification exams. Fast forward to the present. I am now the training officer of the Department of Orthopedics in West Visayas State University Medical Center, which is located here in Haro, Iloilo City. Together with our chairman, we train our residents to become competent, conscientious, compassionate, and well-rounded physicians. I am now a proud father of 2 children and a loving partner to my wife. They are the reason why I get up every morning and my motivation to keep on grinding with everyday life. So with this talk, I hope and pray that I have shed a light on whatever career path you will take. I would like to see future medical doctors from this batch visit us at the University Medical Center, and you are all very much welcome to train with us. Thank you, Dr. H.
Wow, Doc Will. Doc Will, can you thank you, Doc Will? Let's give Doc Will a round of applause. Doc Will, may we know first kung saan ka nag-high school, saan ka nag-college?
Yes, I graduated in Colegio del Sagrado Corazon de Jesus. I took my basic education there.
Mm-hmm.
And then my bachelor's degree in arts and sciences, I took it in West Visayas State University Medical Center.
Mm. So your pre-med is in West, is that correct? No?
Yes,
And
yes,
then your medicine, you took the course medicine in West also.
yes.
Yes. Because it's a state university, I think many students will also ask later about this. Maybe I'll just ask you because this is has to do with your time life, no, your career life. How did you make it? Was the ano was the journey difficult financially? Kasi one question of many students who would like to be doctors is it well, there's no question. It's financially rewarding, I presume. But how is it financially difficult, no, to become a doctor?
During the time,
Ah,
I was fortunate enough, Dr. H, that we
yung
live in a
sakit, no street to.
Iloilo City.
Wala
I
ulcer
am
dyan
near
eh. Ang sakit.
the
Kumatirik mo.
university hospital. I am near the West Visayas State University Medical Center. During that time, there are two hospitals here in Western Visayas, in Iloilo that caters to medicine education. And siyempre, during that time, the tuition, no, per sem in one hospital is kind of expensive. So during that time it cost around 50,000. So that's about 15 years ago. So, uh, 50,000. So but I asked around, and they told me that the one in the College of Medicine in Western Visayas has actually a very low tuition
Tuition.
fee. Actually, we are we are considered scholars there, no. So, but in order for me to be able to be admitted sa College of Medicine, I have to undergo a screening process. So screening process, no, it will entail, no, your grades during pre-med, no, your national medical aptitude test, no,
Math.
and your
And
interview. So that's the biggest three na you have to hurdle, no, in order for you to be admitted, no, in College of Medicine diri sa West, no.
yes.
And also may mga scholarships man. I have asked around, there are scholarships that are being given to towards deserving students, no. Some banks, no, mga bangko, no, they offer this also.
Yeah. Thank you, Doc Will. That I need to ask because others might be thinking about it, but one of the things that maybe probably hinders them to think about it more is the financial side, no?
Yeah.
And that's true to all, no, public and private school students. And
If
so
I may add,
marami.
if
Yes, sir.
I may
Yes,
add,
yes,
Dr.
po.
H, right
Yes, sir.
now the admittance to the College of Medicine in Western Visayas State University Medical Center is free.
Free, yes. And
Free.
my daughter is one of the beneficiaries.
Yes.
My daughter is now in second year medicine. So free, libre lang po. Walang, but the requirement, again, you have to go through the process. May NMAT pa. But yung NMAT na test na yan, also dependent on your preparation. So academic preparation does not only start in pre-med, no? It starts in high school, right?
Yes.
Because in math, there are some questions that are high school based.
Yes,
So you learn them from high school. Yan, sige. So maybe let's end with that for the moment, and I hope, no, if you have questions later, please try to raise them later. We really pray and hope that later our Q&A will be more conversational. Sige. Thank you, Doc Will. Let us proceed to our next sharer, who is the editor-in-chief of the Daily Guardian. No, he is a journalist himself, a practicing journalist, and our present president, of the Rotary Club of Iloilo. I would like to request Sir Allan, Francis Allan, to take the table. Sir Franz?
Morning, Sir H. Good morning sa mga participants
Morning.
kay President-elect Wilman na ay sa iban nga total yan sa
Sir Allan, sorry, I have to butt in. Can you please check your sound?
Okay.
We can barely hear you po.
Wait. Change na ako sa mic ko.
How about now?
Yeah, excellent.
Okay na siya. Good morning sa liwat. Basta may iban nga participants nga naka-on mic bala, I would like to request to check niyo ang mic niyo and turn them off kay kagina sa discussion ni Doc Will. Medyo may interruptions. Lovely, nag-appear ka sa screen ko meaning la on ang mic mo. So please guys, check your mics kung naka-on ka mo, turn them off kay kagina sa discussion ni Doc Will Manaay, may mga interruptions. So kasi hindi kita magintindihan ay please check your mics and turn them off anay. Maybe Doc Sir H, maybe you can turn them off yourself kay ikaw man ang host. Or maybe it will interrupt sa iba ng speakers later. But anyway, thank you. Good morning. I'm Francis, Daily Guardian. I've been with the newspaper for almost 22 years na. So I joined the paper in 2002, sorry. And I rose to the ranks from being a reporter to until holding the top editorial job 5-6 years ago. Excuse me, Mr. Hello.
Bilangga. Hello. Sama na ako. Tao po.
Sir Allan,
Okay, sir. Okay na. Yeah.
Advance apologies to others. For those who cannot turn their microphone off, we will regrettably and respectfully put you out from the meeting for now. So hopefully you can work that one out. Baka technical problem lang naman na they accidentally turn their on. So yeah, thank you po. Please proceed, sir.
So let's be conscious while we have the discussion. So at least we can understand each other and you can throw your questions later on. So, I grew up and studied in Cabatuan, Iloilo. Taga Iloilo man ako. I took up political science in UP Visayas, and I was due to completing the course when I joined Daily Guardian in 2002. So I'm still working on my course in political science. So kung basic mamangkot ka mong relationship sa political science, obra ko as a journalist, well, actually, do wala agad man, although ang disciplines are somehow interconnected. It's just that I've always wanted to be a journalist, and I actually originally tried to enroll in journalism sa Diliman, but it was a quota course, so I was forced to cross-register to UP Visayas and take up political science, and here I am right now. To describe my work, everyday daily work, it's like I'm the doorman or tagbantay sa editorial department ng Daily Guardian. I go through all the articles, news, opinion columns, everything before they are published or are printed. I also allocate resources, editorial resources sa mga areas where we should cover the news. Okay. And so that, amo na siya. Aside from editing works, I allocate the resources of the newspaper to areas or beats kung diin kami nagakuha balita. The deployment of reporters, photographers, and I also manage the online operations also social media naman. So basically, it's back to zero work, meaning after you finish all the stories and publish the paper, you always go back to zero and start again, look for the news, then edit na naman, then publish. ang thrust naman sa newspaper is not just the usual news, but the news that explains things, expounds, and not just plain reporting kung sino, ano natabo, diin, kagkasan, o. But we try to publish narratives and stories na nag-explain na natabo ang ining bagay or sino ining tao, etc. etc. So siguro hindi naman ako ginong palawig, Sir H, so we can have more time karon sa aton Q&A. Thank you kag may umaga sa tanan.
Thank you, sir. Sir, let's give a round of applause to Sir Francis. Virtual applause, please. Yan, lumalabas na yung applause natin. Then off ulit, no? Off ulit, mute ulit. Sir Franz, interesado ako. Yun yung tanong ko rin. I'm also into journalism. Yun yung isa sa mga pinaka gusto ko ng college. How did you end up, no, a journalist? No, did it start, the interest, did it start in elementary or high school or college? Did you join school papers? I'm sure there are students here also into school papers.
Actually, it started with mahilig ko magbasa kay do way kuya gawa, hindi ko mahilig gampang sa una. Gampang sa sagwa but once in a while, but most of the time I spend I spend most of my time reading, and that somehow so the time I spent reading actually pushed me to into writing. Then elementary, actually sa high school nagid ko na tudo nga nag-practice ng journalism, particularly sa mga press conferences.
Okay na. Na-off na yun.
And then actually sa high school I have this one very good English teacher. Why gid check up, I mean, doesn't have lesson plans. He doesn't follow, the curriculum prescribed by that. And he has his own style, particularly in teaching grammar. His focus was actually grammar, not much about reading literature, poems, short stories, and everything. But he started with a foundation on grammar, and that triggered my interest more sa journalism. And of course, ang reading habit of reading. Nowadays, the habit of reading is different from ours. 30 years ago, 40 years ago, we read real books. Subong inadlaw, you read things on social media in your cell phone, and I think it's a different approach. Nag-form siya different habits, and sometimes and it will lead to different motivations in life. The kind of things that you read and the way you read, those are very important things. I think these factors are very important in forming your career path or your plans in life. Sir H.
Yeah, thank you, Sir Allan. We will have more of you and of journalism very soon. But what I got from you is really, aside from your interest to it, the availability of newspapers, maybe in other books. There's this one person that motivated you really. And we have teachers here present, and I think it's clear to them also that one of the salaries, one of the return of investment nila is when they inspire people for their particular career also. So an English teacher inspired you to be a journalist. Okay, thank you so much. We will proceed with our next sharer. Is Engineer Joshua here? Engineer Fuentes? Sir Josh? Wala pa siguro si Sir Josh, no? Sige, kung wala pa si Sir Josh, we will proceed with Rotarian Jess, Engineer Jess. Sir Jess, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Now it's your time.
Good morning.
Morning.
Presently, I have 4 things going in my life. Number 1, I'm a retired engineer. Number 2, I am a student. I'm taking up my doctor in technological in ISAT University. So the title is supposed to be Doctor in Industrial Technology. Okay, I'm probably be a getting my doctorate this year. Third, I am a professor at the University of San Agustin College of Technology, teaching surveying, hydraulics, and other courses. Um, the fourth one is I am a volunteer. I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Iloilo. I am a graduate of San Agustin High School, 1965. So you count your number of years now, 65 to today. Okay. So it means that I am right now somewhere in the the lower 70. Okay. Um, Finished my high school there and went to the College of Engineering at the same university in 1970. And then in 1970, I took my civil engineering board and passed the board exam as a civil engineer. Went to the University of San Agustin, teach for 3 years in the College of Engineering. Requested for a further study, I went to the University of the Philippines, Diliman, and took engineering courses, which is on the masteral level, and took my board exam in sanitary engineering. So I am also a registered sanitary engineer. Um, my number in the civil engineering is somewhere in 10,000. Actually, it's 10,972. That's my registration number. And in my sanitary engineering, my registration number is 434. So we were the few sanitary engineers at the time. Okay. Um, Left the Philippines, went to the US. Okay. And went to pursue my masteral in civil engineering at the Wayne State University in Detroit, Michigan. Graduated in 1982. Um, Enrolled also in the PhD, but because of the work, uh, I just took some subjects. Okay, so my education there stops. My schooling stops in there, but never stop learning. Okay, I have worked in several industries, um, treatment plant, wastewater treatment plant, water treatment plant, consulting engineers, uh, and a lot of other extra courses. Okay, that's how life in America. You have to keep on improving yourselves, so you will be what you call this. You have to be marketable. Okay, you have to be marketable. So it means that right now, like for example, you are now in your senior high school. Okay.
Junior high school engineer, junior high school pa lang
Oh,
sila.
junior high school. Okay. Thinking of what do you want to be. Okay. Thinking of what you want to be. First, you choose your own field. Okay, choose your own field, what you like, what is your forte. Okay, if you are good in math, if you are good in sciences, if you are good in computer, so you start to work towards the towards your passion. Okay, towards your passion. But there are times that passion is not enough, because there are some hindrances. As you said again, you need to think of how much it would cost me to be a doctor, how much it would cost me to be a teacher, or where do I have to go to school? Before, when we were back in the 70s, the only place that you would like to get your education is where? Manila or Cebu. Okay, Manila or Cebu. Here, you are given the opportunity. Our government has created all these state universities, which they give you the opportunity to stay in your place and to study. And some of them are giving you free education. Please take advantage of that. Okay, take advantage of that. Although there are free tuitions or monetary problem is solved, but still you have to really study. Okay, you have to study. There is no substitute. If money is not a problem, the only problem that you will have is that how to pass your courses. Okay, make your objective simple. You want to take a subject, do not think of just simply passing the subject. Think of, I would like to teach this particular subject. It means that learn to teach. Okay? Learn to teach. In that way, you will learn more. There are some questions that your teacher could give you, but there are more questions and answers if you are going to teach those particular subjects. Okay? So those are very, very important. Learn to teach. I know that some of us would like to party. Okay? Would like to party. High school and college. Okay? Extra curriculum is very, very important. That's for your own self-development. Okay? Self-development. If you have acquired the confidence, you can surpass anything. It is your confidence that you have to increase. But number one, listen to our president Angelo. Read, okay? Write, read, and write. Okay. If you do that, it will really help you. Okay. Because uh, you could not acquire education without reading. Okay. And do not just simply depend on the books. You have to learn how to read journals. Okay. But with your generation, you are very, very fortunate. Okay. Why? You have the education just right in the palm of your hand. What is that? Your cell phone. If you spend half of your wake time, awake time, with your cell phone looking at Google and YouTube instead of playing what are these other games that you have in there. Okay, I think you will be a better student. When you go to school and you could not understand anything, just get the keyword, type in the keyword, let's say hydraulics. You'll say, what is rugosity? You know, you don't know, because even your teacher will not tell you what is rugosity. They will just say, oh, the coefficient of rugosity is such and such and such. And you said, what is that? It's a simple word for coefficient of roughness, okay? But if you go to YouTube or you go to Google, then you have a better understanding. Not only that, the other advice is that do not depend too much in them. Read more. Compare, compare the lecture of another professor. You go this, and then make your own conclusion. Oh, okay, he says about this, he could this, and this, and this. And he said, oh, my opinion is like this. You create your own opinion, okay? And I hope I help you in making your decision in going to a different degrees that you would like to take. But do not stop at the bachelor's of science. Go for your master's and your doctorate. Okay? Do not stop there. Even though it will take you, what, 53 years. Do not stop. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, engineer. So, sanitary engineer, civil engineer, master plumber, professor. Thank you po. No, grabe. You already graduated when I was not yet born in engineering. So, yun yung maganda sa conversation na to kasi we get to see a different point of view. This is the point of view of the past generation, but still very important. When I say past generation, 1960s na, no? And maraming wisdom that you can get. And ang sinabi ni engineer na hydraulics, that's the most, quote-unquote, favorite subject of engineers. I'm also a civil engineer. And yun yung mga Waterloo namin. Most engineering students, whenever they take the board exam, correct, engineer?
Yes.
No? When you take the board exam, hydraulics, yun yung pinaka-difficult, isa sa mga pinaka-difficult. You make your own equation, your language is calculus. But Sir Anayas here continues to study, no, and then even teach this one. So I think what I got from the first three, don't forget to read and learn from everything, no. Don't stop from learning. Thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause to our Rotarian Anayas. Can we give him a virtual round of applause? Can I see some clap or tadas or thumbs up there?
Thank you.
May I see some, yan, clap. Si Jover, Raynan, si Ma'am Fronily, kanina pa, very attentive. How about others po? Ma'am Steph, thank you for your applause. That adds more vibe, no, to our discussion. Okay, kaya napakaseryoso natin kasi. Anyway, we have here Sir Butch. Sir Butch is into corporate, into business.
Good morning.
Hello,
Good
Sir
morning.
Butch, Rotarian Butch also, our forever secretary, almost. Sir Butch, would you like to say something also? This is instant, no?
Yeah.
Would you like to say something about your own career path, maybe in 3 minutes? Right?
3 minutes po, dami ah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
even more. But this is the point of view of a business person.
Yeah. Well, it does seem that everybody here is an engineer. I am an engineer by career, mechanical engineer licensed. Actually, I started out. I had my at the Iloilo American Memorial School. Then I was transferred to Assumption Convent. Assumption for 2 years, and then I graduated grade school and high school at the St. Clement's College. I graduated Victorian at the school. And at that time, we were being asked by our father rector we were discussing about career paths, and one of that was priesthood. Okay. Priesthood in the sense that they were looking for priests for them to reach priests. And I decided, yeah, I'll try. But luckily, I was at grade 6. I had my first dance. And I forgot about priesthood and decided to move on. Okay. So during that time, during in high school, I noticed that I was quite strong in the sciences, in math. So generally, my focus was to develop those potentials. No, as your level now, as junior highs, you should look at your strengths. What are your strengths and develop those strengths. And then your weaknesses, you try and see what you can do with your weaknesses because there are opportunities along the way. There are opportunities along the way. Don't close yourself that you're weak in this and that's it. No, try and turn your weaknesses into opportunities that you can explore later on. That's what I did. No, well, I was good at math. So after high school, I took up mechanical engineering at the University of the Philippines. At the University of the Philippines, I took my good time. I did not focus on studies. Nanganiga ako and everything, all the barkadas, the fraternities. And sometimes you go astray. But like I said, focus ka lang. No? You have to define your goals. And well, you see, Priya sa aton, sometimes we have a lot of distractions along the way. It is not always the straight path. No? So you have your barkadas, you have this, you have your cell phones. Right now, you have cell phones. From during our time, wala kami cell phone. Ni ang Motorola ng dako na, wala pa na. No? All we had was a payphone. Kung may miga ka, you use your payphone. Pila ka mo dira para magtawag and you have 3 minutes to talk to your girlfriend. Just like what we're doing here. Anyway, to cut the long story short, I had my ups and downs in college. I almost dropped out of engineering. That's the truth of the matter. But since I was focused on graduating at UP, mechanical engineering at that, and well, along with it was my pride. So was my pride. So my personal objective was to finish everything. And I did that. I finished my mechanical engineering degree at the University of the Philippines. Took my board exam in 1983, I think, no? Ended up 9th place. National licensure exam. So I was at 9th place. And I was happy with it. I was already working at that time with a Marcus Cruni. Imelda Cruni. I was already working at that time with Imelda Cruni. Tierra Factors under CDCP group of companies, Cuenca. And everything was just fine. If you had these titles, you're number 9, you're graduate of UP, you're this and that, you were elevated, but I did not stop there. Across the street in Makati, there was Ateneo Graduate School. Ateneo Graduate School. So by 5:30, I would jump off, go to Ateneo Graduate School, and pursue my graduate studies in business administration. However, because I was thinking, as a mechanical engineer, I would have gone into thermodynamics, I would have gone into a lot of things. I was strong at materials. That was the direction, but I did not because that I was more directed towards finance. I was more into finance. While I had the title of a mechanical engineer, the thing that I like about engineering is it taught me to be deep in analysis, very analytical in situations. You have to do this, hinihimay-himay mo, and then you find a solution to your problem. Thermodynamics is the worst, is one of the heavy subjects that I had. Strength of materials was the easiest subjects that I had. I was so happy with that that during my stay at Chiropractors, I was in marketing. It's way off my engineering course. So I tried marketing, and then I found my way to core plan. I was close. Many of my barcadas in that office was at corporate planning. What were we doing? We were discussing about the company. We were looking at various areas of the company, from marketing, finance, personnel, behavioral analysis, etc. So along that way, those are a lot of opportunities. Like I said, if you're weak in one, find opportunities and convert that to opportunities, so that you can go and explore those areas. And that is what I did. So I was very close with finance, and we were talking until I started my MBA. My MBA, actually, I ended up taking up finance. I majored in finance, but I did not finish my MBA at the Ateneo Graduate School, sad to say. In 1983, no, in 1981, that's very, very far, no? In 1981, I followed up the application of my sister at the Asian Institute of Management. So when I was there, I saw a schedule. Saturday, there was an admission test at the Asian Institute of Management. So I said, so what's the big deal with this Asian Institute of Management? I decided to take the examination just for the fun of it, and see. When I took the exams, there were 6 of us classmates at the UP School of Engineering, UP Mechanical Engineering. All my classmates were there. Actually, now one is a professor in AIM. Out of the 6 of us, 3 of us entered AIM. And there I graduated my MBM, my Master's in Business Management. Also, it's the same as MBA. And that's how everything went on. No? I really enjoyed the whole thing, because now I was already in the profession I wanted. So I ended up from working with companies like PDCP, the Gutianons, formerly Insular Bank of Asia and America, which was acquired actually by the what's this? Nadulat ako. Hindi ko kaya remember sang bank, no? But it ended up now with BDO. It was acquired also later on by BDO. And then from there, I decided back to Iloilo because of some problems of in our own personal business. My parents, I went up. I gave up my job in Manila. I was already okay with my job there. I would have been better off in Manila than before I came back here in Iloilo. But then that's past. No, that's why you have to make certain decisions, because the only person who can make those decisions, who can guide you to your path, who can actually is you. If you make the wrong decision, accept it. That's a sign of a good leader. That's a sign of a good manager. That's a sign of a matured person. Don't put the blame on somebody else. And that is how I ended up in Iloilo. I continued as a banker until we decided to merge our rural bank here in Iloilo with Kunsunhi's One Network Bank, which was later acquired by BDO, and now it's BDO Network Bank. But I still have my staff there. I still go to the bank because I don't like being, I have to keep myself updated. That's how it is. And basically, we do have our own business. We have a computer business of our own. And I'm retired, so I'm still looking for opportunities that we can grab on the financial side. On the side, I would play once in a while in the stock market. That's how it is, no? And well, basically, opportunities, like I said, are there. Whether you are born with money or not, whether your parents are well off or not, never stray away. There are opportunities. I have classmates in the University of the Philippines who are being supported by the university. If you're a good student in high school, in your junior years or in senior years, there are opportunities. There are scholarships. Never forget that there are scholarships. Our fraternity in UP provides scholarship also for students in the university. Even at the AAM, at the Asian Institute of Management, conglomerates like the Ayalas, the Aboitis, they have opportunities for us. They have scholarship grants where we take these grants. Even Insular Life, I received a scholarship from Insular Life after I graduated valedictorian in high school. And those are the things that we should consider. Never let go of your direction. Even my daughter studied medicine. They would ask me if I can help a classmate who is in need. So that's the whole idea. No? There's always a helping hand along the side. Just don't give up on your dreams. Your dreams can be realized. That's all I can say. And I do hope this little talk that we have would be able to. Okay?
Yeah. So medyo may mga accounts that are still in unmute form. Kindly mute your microphone. We will have a later time for you to say something or to ask or to raise your hand if you want to. Sir Butch, nagulat ako, pasensya na. Hindi ko talaga alam all these months na you are also an engineer, mechanical engineer at that, no?
Yeah.
But kasi all I know is you're a banker, you're into business, you're into stocks. And that's another side, no? Another side of the professional stories that we are sharing now with our students. Some of our students are thinking of taking ABM. And so this one is another thing that you want to go to. And later you can raise some questions if you want to. Lumalabas, Sir Butch, no, yung issue always ng scholarship. And ang sabi nga ni Engineer Jess kanina, na you have Google in the palm of your hands. It's easy to look for scholarship ngayon. Easier compared decades ago. You have to go to the different offices and check if there are scholarships there. You really have to fish. Now, all you need to do is to Google it. No? And there are many scholarships for college and even for advanced studies. No? Yes, Butch, Sir Butch?
Yeah, actually, it's not using the Google. The simplest way is actually identify top 5 schools that you want to enter.
Okay.
Focus on those 5 schools. Look at entry points there.
Okay.
Look at your entry points there. Because like UP alone has a lot of scholarships. I do not know with San Agustin. I do not know with Ateneo. Ateneo, I know there is because my daughter is in Ateneo.
All I know is, in Ateneo school, I think it's really a requirement for them to have 10 to 20% of their population to be scholars.
Yes.
So there are many scholarships.
Even in Iloilo doctors.
Yes.
Ikaw, may ara sila. May ara sila scholarship.
True.
But you just have to, well, some of the medical schools here have scholarship, I do believe it.
Yeah. Thank you, Sir Butch. So, sige, can we have, is it possible for us to give a round of applause, maybe a sign of appreciation to Engineer Butch? Let's give Engineer Butch a round of applause, virtual round of applause. So much, Butch, ha? Walang bayad yan. So that's a professional advice, Mr. Butch. Doc Will, do we still have some Rotarians in the house? Kasi medyo maraming screens and I don't know where they are now. So,
Sir Binaya, Jerry.
okay. So Jerry said na tomorrow na lang na siya sa grade 12 to chip in. So he's observing.
Okay.
Si Jerry, are you okay? Okay lang, tomorrow. Sige. Sige. So what I will do now is I will also share my story briefly. Yes, sir. Sir Doc Will.
Rotarian Joshua Fuentes is in our.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Josh.
Ari ko, sir.
Engineer
Good
Josh,
morning.
sorry. So, Engineer
Ay,
Josh,
that's
you
all,
have
that's all.
3 minutes. You have 3 minutes to share your career story, Engineer.
Okay.
Ito, interesting din to kasi engineer turned into something else. Aha. Sir, it's your turn.
Okay. Good morning. I'm Rotarian Joshua Fuentes. I graduated in University of San Agustin High School and College. I finished BS Computer Engineering and BS Civil Engineering. I worked for DPWH for 9 years and OSAID for 3 years. And now, may business ko, sweet tooth, making cakes. Do medyo naglain, no? Alin sa siminto, kag flour, gulpil. Sa siminto, kag balas, gulpil, nag-flour, kag pondan. Sa high school, mo ginang ang daw medyo turning point kay ang mga nagsulod, mga group, mga barkada, vices, dapat ma-choose ta nga ng mga groups nga do hindi lang makapaguba sa aton pagtuon. Sa college, ang balman nito Butch, mayara up and down. Damo ginaya permi. So, nasa college, makatres ka, okay na na. Kapin pa sa engineering. Makatres ka, pangagad yan na ino. Di ba, to Jess? Kapag gano ka dyan sa episode, you need to, naman hindi man, kung gusto mo, hindi ganyan nga daw, alam-alam, kasi dapat streetwise ka man Kaya amo man akong isa na nakalam ko isa ko hindi na streetwise daw medyo gatagilid ta sa aton nga ginadiretso man ko isabla. Ano man napagid duway na ko isugko daw. Nag-ship ko sa cakes tungod ng though hilig ni sa sang wife ko before, tapos gin-turn na lang namon business. Kay tungod nga ang DPWH before nag-implement sang rationalization nga mabuhin sang empleyado sa bisan regular or casual employees. So baling akon nga tawag nun, akong posisyon na nabuhin. So ang isa ka option is na-transfer ko sa kabangkalan. Nga dito ang isa ko ang vacant na posisyon para sa akon. Galing mo na lang tawag nga ma-choose ka sa career or sa healthy love life. Ididre ko sa healthy love life. Hindi kami sa
Healthy love life.
Choose sa healthy love life. Kaya to nag-start kami sa cake business before online. Then, my friend ang wife ko nga nagambal nga kung pwede kami ka-supply siya nga resto. So, mo to nag-start na
Ano to la?
amo na siya nga
Sir Josh?
natupa kami sa cake business.
Yeah. So, Sir Josh, thank you so much. We will have more questions to be raised later about your very interesting career path. Let's give Sir Josh a round of applause. Can you give some virtual round of applause there? Para, again, sign of life. Ala. So I can see here some people clapping. No? So thank you so much. So that's a good show of life. A good show of presence. Again, we would like to remind everyone to please put your mic in mute form. Put your mic in mute form or else we might be asking you to leave or kicking you out. So for practical reason, please please put your mic into mute mode. I'd like to ask our co-host to also unmute, put those in mute form while we are talking. Sige. So, bakit naga-on? Please do not click your mic. No, let them be in the mute form. Sige, the usual problem, no, technical problem. Sige, i-remove na lang natin. Okay, si Jay na yan. No? Okay, sige. Hello guys. Sige. We had already our 5. No? We have Doc Will, orthopedic surgeon, Engineer Anayas, Engineer Butch, Sir Allan, no? Our editor-in-chief in local newspaper, and Sir Joshua, engineer who turned into a baker. No? And then Engineer Butch, who turned into a banker, businessman, and then Engineer Anayas, who eventually turned into a professor na ngayon, and continue to learn, no, from engineering and other stuff. Now, in my case, I'm presently the principal of Ateneo de Iloilo, and my course, I'm a product of public school in grade school, and I joined University of Iloilo in high school until college. I took my engineering there, finished it, and got my board exam, my board, no. But after engineering, my love affair is really with journalism. So after my engineering course, I worked for 6 years as a practicing journalist. So that's where that connects me from Sir Allan. But after that, I decided to teach physics, no, in Ateneo de Iloilo, and then eventually now the principal of the school. So I am a civil engineer, a registered guidance counselor, and a registered physical science teacher. So I teach physics, mathematics, and chemistry. No, but I'm also a doctor of mathematics. So that's my career path. But I think sinabi na ng mga speakers natin, yes, along the way, there will be some humps. No? In my case, I'm a fast learner. And because of that, in engineering, third year engineering pa lang ako, nag-asawa na ako. No? So, sobrang fast learner kasi. So sabi nila, ano daw, maharot kasi. So third year college pa lang, may asawa na ako, may anak na ako. But I did not stop from college. No? I pursued my college and eventually finished, no, at the age of 20, if I'm not mistaken, or 19, no, in engineering. Because I started early, no, in basic education. And after that, because I joined the education sector, the basic education sector, I also finished my 3 master's degree. No? So master's in science education, business administration, and lately guidance counseling in UP. So that's why I am the organizer of this event, because this is something that is dear to me, career guidance. I thought to myself na maybe during my college time, because it was my mom who decided that I have to take civil engineering. I also love mathematics, but there was not enough guidance for me, and I'm not saying that my mom was wrong, but I really followed my mom's request, because during that time I had no decision yet. So I took engineering, but eventually I later realized that my comfort zone and my passion is really into education. That's why from engineer to educator, just like engineer Jesus Anayas. So that is my life story. No, thank you so much. So we now come to the question and answer portion. No, and I think this is the meat of the discussion. No? The question and answer. By the way, Ma'am SP Ma'am SP here from Sigma. Are you here, Ma'am SP? Ma'am SP was one of the reasons why marami talagang umattend dito from Capiz. No, thank you so much, Ma'am SP. This will not be the last for sure. Anyway, so we now proceed to the Q&A. So the Q&A, you can raise your hand and then of course state your name and then state your school and also say your piece, maybe your question, your input. And if you have one particular speaker who would like to talk or ask, then maybe you can also state that. Then after the question, or you can also write your question in the chat box if you don't want to say something about it. No, I mean orally. So before I accommodate those in the chat box, I'll accommodate muna those who are raising their hand. So Ma'am Nicole, you're raising your hand. Would you like to unmute your microphone and tell us your question, Nicole? If or maybe because she just raised her hand accidentally. How about Zyrel John? Zyrel John, you're raising your hand too. Oh, baka accidentally din. Or Zyrel, do you have something in mind, a question perhaps? Zyrel, wala. Sige, I am scrolling down questions now. Sige, let's see. We have here, sir, meron po ba kayong any advice about taking course of ABM? Meron ba kayong advice about taking course of ABM? Maybe I'll ask Engineer Butch. ABM is Accountancy, Business, and Management. So, naghahanap lang ng advice, no? Kung in taking the course of ABM. Si Marivic. So Marivic, I presume you're thinking of proceeding to ABM. So, medyo general ang question. What's your advice about taking course of ABM? Sir Butch? You can unmute your microphone, Sir Butch. Pwedeng ma-unmute. Yan. We can now hear you.
Actually, with regards to that, I am not really familiar with courses with the courses here in Iloilo, no. But I do believe, I think Ateneo is offering some, no. Ateneo, no.
Yeah, yes po. Management, etc. But even
yeah.
I think Ma'am Marivic is
mag-answer siya na, sir.
Sige. The way, fellow Rotarians, you can unmute your microphone if you want to input. No? So ABM offers a lot of courses, di ba? Accountancy is one. Sa business naman, marami. Entrepreneurship, marketing, etc. And you also have management. No? So depend. The general advice of guidance counselors usually is ask yourself, what is your interest? And also your experience and also your influence. So what part in business or in accounting or management that you wish you are very interested of? Do you want to sell things? Or do you want to manage people or manage a company? Or do you want to, let's say, haggle or play around with money? Or what is really your interest? Maybe that's one question that you need to ask. If the question is also something like leading towards where to take, what college to take, I think all colleges and universities in the region, Negros and Panay, no, there are many schools there that offer business or accounting courses, and most of these, especially state use, have scholarship or even automatic free tuition. So ang tanong always is what are my skills? What is my interest, and then maybe let's focus on that. Again, no, Google can really help, no? Kasi if you want to be a lawyer, then maybe accounting is one. But in fact, there's a question for that later, so we will answer that. So, Ma'am Marivic, kung mga advice lang sa ABM and any other strand, always ask yourself kung what is your passion, what do you like to do, what are your skills. Influence is important. In the circle of friends and family that you have, sinong nasa ABM na track or strand na career? And maybe you can ask them some inputs. And one of the thrusts in senior high school is also for students to have OJTs. And so schools wherever you will go to in your senior high are required to give you some experiences to do OJT in particular places. So that at the end of the day, you will be able to have enough information to make a decision. What course talaga do I need to take? Some people already know what to do, but eventually after the OJT, they tend to change their course. And that's okay. That's normal. Okay, that's normal. So that's for the ABM. Ma'am Fronily, are you raising your hand to talk about, to also give your input regarding this? Before I accommodate JHL, Ma'am Fronily, did you raise your hand because of the ABM question? Okay, ma'am, would you like to say something about it? No. Hindi pala. Sige. Sir Butch, you're raising your hand. Is that something about the ABM? Maybe you can, you can try, kindly click na lang siguro that part. Okay, we can hear you now.
Actually, with regards to the course, or with regards to going into OJTs, be selective with companies that you want to do your OJTs, because sometimes you try and apply OJTs with big banks. You say Land Bank, DBP, etc. Normally, ang gwa niya, filing clerks lang kamo. They will use you as filing clerks because you will not be effective, no? For them, they feel you will not be effective. But unlike like kami, when I was working with the Rural Bank San Enrique, we had a lot of OJTs, and we made use of those OJTs. One of the lucky ones that we had was when we got people from CPU, Central Philippine University. It just so happened that the OJTs that we had were at the top 10% of the class. So I had the opportunity to handle them, and I gave them the real score, like doing market studies, doing industry studies on the little data that we have here in the province, in Iloilo per se, because they were very limited. So what happened was they came up with results that was quite favorable, and that was quite helpful for our database, because we need those for loans, for deposit, for market analysis, and those are the things that we need. Find a company. Don't think of big companies. Don't think of big companies immediately. Just get the right, because you need the experience, because you need to decide which direction you have to go. So don't think of the big ones first. If you're doing local, okay lang. If you feel, actually may ang advisor nyo na mahambal nga, okay ini, if you tell them probably that this is not suited for you, that company is not suited for you, they will probably shift you also. Mangita man na sila. And actually, it's the role of the school, of the administration of the school to find the proper companies where you can apply for OJT. So that's my advice lang, no? Just find the right company that will fit you in, that will use your abilities and not make you filing clerks in the end, because that loses your enthusiasm on what you're after.
Sir, yes, sir. Sir Jess, would you like to say something about that? This is a general question, no? This is not just an ABM. Parang what to do in order for you to make sure that you choose the right, the right path.
Yes,
So, Engineer Jess, would you like to say something?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
For those who are really looking at that field, okay, accounting, business management, the most important thing really is I don't know. I'm biased. Okay, I'm biased. When it comes to education, regardless of what you are or what you want, the first thing that you have to do is to get a subject that would help you develop your confidence and your analysis. Because with these two factors, that would really help you in your education. So, like for example, you are in the business or in the accounting, but please take your mathematics in engineering. Take your mathematics in engineering because the mathematics in engineering and mathematics in the other courses are not the same. Okay? You are challenged in the College of Technology. Even though how you would like to solve the problem, all the means are given to you, but they are giving you the privilege of really analyzing and thinking of how you are going to solve the problem. In other courses, when you say, "Oh, I would like to take algebra," oh, by the way, algebra is no longer a college course, okay? Because all engineers, when they enter engineering, the first subjects that they are offering is what? Calculus.
Kilus.
That's the first subject that they offer is
Yes,
calculus. So
integral.
your high school is the basis of your college mathematics. Your algebra is taken in the high school, your geometry, your trigonometry, your analytic geometry are all in the high school. They are no longer in college. We have a problem with engineering students because the school where they came from have not algebra, trigonometry, analytic geometry, because those are the basis of how to develop your develop your analysis, thinking. Okay, you are given the challenge to do and solve the problem. Oh, of course, I'm not saying that the other colleges are not teaching properly, but I think the mathematic or the basis of all the mathematics now lies on the senior high school. Okay, because like for example, I don't know what the Department of Education is doing. They said that you need to be in this course in order for you to pursue the career that you would like. Okay, but at the end they will say university, you can admit any student at any uh, grouping of courses. So who has a problem? We, the professors in the universities, are the problem because we have to teach algebra, trigonometry, and analytic geometry before they could even pass the go to calculus, because those are the basis of the calculus. Are those three important subjects:
Thank you,
algebra,
engineer.
trigonometry, and analytic geometry.
Engineer, thank you, thank you.
Okay.
So me, in short, for junior high school now, uh, choosing the right senior high school is really very important. The right preparation to college, because even if I think some of you know this already, whatever strand that you will take, sabi ni engineer kanina, no, whatever strand or track that you will take in senior high school, uh, Ched said that you can still go to whatever course you like in college, but that is there's a catch there. If, for example, you want to take engineering, but your preparation is ABM, that will be a hell for you because in senior high school, STEM, which is supposed to be the strand for engineering, there are subjects there that are supposed to ideally prepare you for engineering. And so the best way to do is to take STEM, not to take ABM, going to engineering, even if you will still be allowed according to CHED, depending on the college requirement, no, per college. So but the Doc just said, even if you get STEM from senior high school, if your senior high school will not be able to properly prepare you for engineering, then there's still a problem that you expect. The same thing with ABM, no? You really need to get a school that will really prepare you for business, accounting, and kasi even ABM has what's this? Business mathematics. It has economics. It has accounting. So that's still full of math. So maybe that explains why we need to really work on our skills in all this, no? In order to make sure that we get through, no, the course that we take. Sige, what I will do is I will accommodate Sir Butch first because I think that has to do with the question. Then after that, we will have J Hell and JC. Is this engineer? Is this you, engineer? Joshua. Sige, Sir Butch, you want to say
Yeah.
something?
Actually, I would agree with the Rotarian Jess of doing that because we were quite lucky at that time. Our high school teacher, Mr. Infante, introduced us into calculus and trigonometry simultaneously. So there we were able to develop to hone our skills on how to analyze from integral to differential calculus down the line to statistics to all the to some of the equations like linear regression, multiple regression, and everything before going to college, which makes it easy for us in college. And in college, we have Ma'am Defensor who was teaching us the math in UP. So that really honed us. And even when we went into the MBA, the business program,
still math is important, diba?
Yeah, math is very important. Statistics, because everything you do, you need to have statistical analysis to understand the data that is presented in front of you. It's not just, it's not just reading the financial statement or anything for that matter. It's what is being told to you by the financial statement.
It's making sense. It's making sense out of the numbers, no, out of the numbers. And it takes a lot of skills, problem solving and analysis skills.
The numbers in front of you tells the story, tells you a story, and it is up for you to really relate to that and make a final decision of whether it's a go or a no-go.
Yes, and it makes
company for anything that you do, whether if you're earning or you're not, etc. So
yes, sir. But
even actually, Sir H, even if you're saying that you lack the training on calculus or mathematics, research can always be done and guidance if you know people, if you can have the people around you, if you're involved with people around you who can assist you on that also.
Yes, Sir Butch. We are not talking about math here offered as a subject, but math as a whole, which we can learn even outside the corners of the school. And I'm sure math is also important even when you go to the medical field, no? So Sir Will say that. Again, before JL, kasi nag-raise ng hand si Sir Fuentes. Last na to, after Sir Fuentes, they will have JL and then Ma'am Fronily. Sir Josh? Kindly turn your mic on. Sir Josh, kindly turn your mic on. We cannot hear you po. Wala. So sige. Siguro we will come to you later, no? Let's have sige, Sir Josh.
Hindi na kami nabasahan ko sa chat gina nga ano to ba ni. Ganito. May question siya nga ang ganito. Ang engineering dapat magaling ka sa math. Amo na to na sa math na siya ni
sige. So nasa bata na siya. So ako
or not necessarily nga magaling ka sa math.
Correct.
Di man siya necessarily na maayo pagid sa math.
Correct. Kasi Josh, 'di ba, may diskarte na tinatawag, 'di ba? Marami
Oo.
tayong classmates sa engineering na so-so lang, but eventually when they took the board, nakapasa, and then they're even better na mga engineers. No? So may
Oo,
mga ganun.
makibot ka lang
Yung
isa,
importante
pasar
doon,
sila eh.
sir, ano sir?
Makibot ka lang isa, pasar sila.
Pasar sila. Because there is this will. So pangalan ni Rotarian Will. No? Will. No? Kung if there's a will, there's a way talaga. And I have seen a lot of people, classmates of mine, na who are not really very good when if you talk about math as a subject. Iba yung math as a subject, iba yung math as math. No? Mas malaki yung math as math. No? And sabi ko nga sa mga estudyante ko sa physics, when you catch the ball, you are also, that is calculus in itself. No, if you know how to catch the ball, you have used calculus instinctively already. So merong mathematical side lahat tayo. No, if we can even do catching the ball. So thank you, Sir Josh, na answer mo na yung question. Now let's proceed to our participants. JL, it's your turn. Sorry na ulihi ka. We have 20 minutes more for our Q&A. JL? You can turn your cam on or maybe unmute your microphone. JL? Sige, parang wala pa ata. Para ma-maximize natin yung yung time natin. Let's have Fronily. Fronily? Fronily, just to be clear, you are a teacher, right?
I'm a student po.
You're a student. You look like
Yes
a
po.
teacher.
I'm not a teacher
You look like
po.
a teacher, very serious and very skeptical pa. The student, sige, very good, very good. Sige.
I have a question po for
Sure.
Dr. Will.
Okay, good. Doc Will.
Kasi po, gusto ko rin po i-pursue ang medical field. And my question po ako, in your journey to becoming an orthopedic surgeon, considering that it takes many years to achieve, what were the sacrifices that you had to make along the way? Like, were there time with friends and family that had to be put off or delayed or ganun po? If you're comfortable in in sharing po.
Sige, sir. Doc Will, ang tanong, meron ka bang social life? During those 9 years. Sige po.
Meron. Okay. Funny, yes, of course there's a lot of things that you have to sacrifice, no? If you are going through in medicine, no? The load itself, no? The load itself, no? The time you have to spend in reading, no, and preparing for your exams is enough, no, to eat up, no, your time. So the mga akon nga na experience ang una is I was not able to attend family gatherings, no? I still go out because I know kay kinahanglan gid na ya kung if very toxic ang life in medicine, no. It's not only read and all that stuff, but you have to find time to rest man, no, relax, no, and recuperate. What I did during the time is every Friday, during the weekend, I have to spend time, no, to relax. No, I watch movies, no, I watch movies, and then ano pa, I go around, no, spend some time with my family, no, at least, no, and then go back again, no, on a Monday, and then do the daily grind. It took really hard work, Doctora, Ronnie. All our students who have reached medical school are all intelligent. No, they all have above average IQ. No, given na yan, Ronnie, you just have to have that right attitude. No, right attitude ang kailangan mo. You have to be open, no, open to learn. No, so amo na, no, and no, ang isa pag ginadara isa no, aside from imo nga will, imo nga motivation, you should have to spend time, no, in asking, you know, divine intervention, no. You have to pray, no, ask for guidance always. Amo lang na siya, Ronnie. Okay, because maski ano pa, no? You have to just to, if you kung may problema ikaw, masolbar kita. You just have to be open. You have that, anong ganito tawag sina Sir Herman, inang support.
Support system.
So support
Support
system,
system.
you have to have a support system as well.
So support system can be your family or can be your friends. So mahirap mag-medicine in isolation. So my daughter is now in 2nd year in medicine, and I had to force herself. I had to force her to go out and to drink, no, if needed, no, kung wala siyang exam the day after. I have to force her to watch Netflix. So because mental health is very important, no, it's the EQ is more important than the IQ, no, when you go to courses like engineering or in fact all courses, but there are some courses that kailangan talaga ng rigor. And so kung puro tuon lang, I know a lot of people na tuon lang, then after that they break down. And that's the one that you don't want to happen when you are in the middle of engineering or at the middle of medicine or at the middle of an undergrad course na no. And I think si Engineer Butch also gave us some tips, no. Yung kung meron kang attitude na gusto mo i-close, yung closure attitude, you want to finish, no? Yung will to finish, that really will help a lot, no? Will help a lot. No, so mental health, I think that's the one that Sir Will, no, and I think that's one reason also us Rotarians join the Rotary because every week, no, ideally we meet, and then sometimes the meeting goes beyond, no, the usual order of the day ng mga planning and projects. We share food, we share drinks, and we share our profession. So pwedeng ganun. Yun yung support system, no, Sir Will. We share beer, Sir Will, no? So yun, may follow-up question ka, Fron? Meron kang follow-up question, Fron? We cannot hear you. May follow-up question? Wala na? You don't have any follow-up question anymore?
I have
Yeah, please throw it away.
I have 2 questions for for Engineer Butch.
Engineer Butch, okay.
Apa. For Engineer Butch, what tips can you give us in trying to turn our weaknesses into something more and look opportunities from it po?
So weaknesses to strength or maybe to opportunities.
Apa.
Grabe, alam mo yung SWOT analysis. Sige, Sir Butch. We cannot hear you for now. So ang tanong ni Fon is how can we convert threats or weaknesses into opportunities and strengths? Sir Butch, paki-check lang ha.
Okay, thanks.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay, how do you call you, Fronley?
Doc Fronley.
Doc Fronley. Actually, turning your weaknesses into opportunities, actually, you just, well, like I have a daughter, no? I have a daughter. She's also into medicine. Actually, tapos na siya eh. She's into anesthesiology. And well, she studied at the Ateneo School of Medicine. She was alone. She was everything. But, you know, she had to do everything, but she had to survive medicine. She had to survive medicine. What she did was, she looked at herself. She opened. Looked at the strengths and weaknesses that she had. Even I would do that. Like sometimes there are down times for me that I would look at my strengths, my weaknesses, and then like match up. What if my weakness is saying I find it hard communicating. Okay, if I find myself hard in communicating, what do I do? In the morning, I would wake up, look at the mirror, and greet myself.
Talk to yourself.
You talk to yourself. It's, you know, you find it funny, but you don't.
It works.
When you see people outside, you automatically, hi,
yes.
oh, you know, And then when you're already doing that, everything comes spontaneous.
Yes.
Like right now, we're talking. I was telling her, Sir H, sir, observer only. But I was listening to Engineer Anayas, and then I was looking at the lineup, Engineer Joshua. Hey, everybody seems to be an engineer here. It's only Rotarian Francis who's the literary guy. So I might as well share my little something. So that's it.
Yeah.
It just comes in. It just comes in naturally. Don't inhibit yourself. Don't put down yourself. The thing there is, if you have a weakness, don't put down yourself. I always tell my children, don't say I am sorry because it's not necessary. Yes, you made a mistake. True. Accept that mistake. Take ownership of the mistake and then move on. If something like there's a discussion here, uh, just handle the discussion as though you were having coffee with a friend, you were having coffee at home, and you're just talking things naturally. So that's the thing. There's nothing very difficult about it.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking for funds, like I want to go to college, but I lack the funds. What do you do? What do you do? So the first thing you do is look at the 5 schools that I want to go to. You have your iPad. You don't have the money for school, but you have your iPad, your iPhone, you have everything. Diba? So what do you next? Browse. Look for scholarships. And then when you're there, start writing. If you have your weakness in English, ask somebody to help you for your application. And then just send it. Send it to blast. Probably one or two will respond favorably to your request. And that's the time you make the decision already of grabbing it. So there's nothing to be wrong. Like when you're wrong or you're weak, you don't have the money. Wala na. And this is the end of the line for me. But then, you wouldn't may grasya gihapon. Like I said, most of us are saying here, like Rotarian Will is saying, trust in Him, trust in the Lord. There is always a way. He will find a way for you. That He will be on your side. He will be your helping hand. He will be guiding you on what to do. That's the only thing that I have to say. Never lose faith.
Thank you, Sir Butch. That's very important. No? You trust in the Lord or whoever is your God. No? Or if not God, at least your support system, sabi nga ni Doc Will. And then lahat naman tayo, meron tayong support system, loved ones, or significant others. They can be your parents and they can give you very good advices for sure. And they can be your friends. Or they can be your titos and titas who are also into that profession already. So these are important ways to turn threats into opportunities and weaknesses into strengths. Persistence is very important in this case. And there's such a thing as growth mindset. I hope everyone believes that whatever weaknesses that we have, if we invest ourselves to it, to hone it, to turn it upside down, we can. Kasi kung wala tayong growth mindset, yun yung fixed mindset na tinatawag, then you can never change course, no? Okay, that's a very good question. Before I accommodate Engineer Joshua and then Kimberly, let me answer fast the question here about nautical and seaman. Take note that there are schools that offer specialized strand, sub-strand of STEM. We call maritime strand. No? So maybe John Vilacson in Iloilo and maybe John Vilacson also in Bacolod. And please take note of that. No? So if you want to go to those tracks, seaman, nautical, etc., consider a school that offers that kind of strand, the maritime strand. But take note, that's as a priority. But you can still take STEM and go to nautical if you want to. But take note, what is required here, if it's nautical in being a seaman, skills also in mathematics because it's also an engineering course. Okay? Sige. Before that, let's have Engineer Joshua. Or would you like to say something? Or baka na-raise mo lang yung hand mo?
Sir, kaya may namangkot din akong
Yes,
pinapatuloy
yes,
ng engineering. 5 years
Okay,
ang
sige.
engineering courses.
Doc, yes, after because of the K to 12, 5 years pa rin ba sa San Agustin?
Yes.
Can I butt in, sir?
Is it 5 years still in San Agustin, the engineering? And
No, San Agustin, excuse me, Josh. In San Agustin, right now, if you are entering engineering, you will finish your engineering in 4 years.
4 years
Ah,
na
okay.
because,
4 years.
because of the K to 12, no? Because of the K to 12.
The architecture is still 5 years.
Because the last year, if I'm not mistaken, is OJT. Is that
Yeah.
it? Or still school? OJT yung last year. So in architecture,
Okay.
4 years of studies, and then 1 year required na you have to do OJT, supervise OJT before you take the board exam, before you graduate and take the board exam. Requirement siya. Thank you for that, sir. Well, sa atin, 5 years before. Kasi 10 years
Yeah.
lang basic education natin.
Oh,
But
ganun.
ngayon yung mga estudyante talaga may additional 2 years. So, naging 4 years lang. But, take note, sabi nga, sorry sideways ako. Sorry, sabi ni Engineer Jess, no, na unlike before, na ang first year ng engineering is still algebra, college algebra. Ngayon, ang first year mo na mathematics is diretso calculus na. Diba? So, kasi meron ng basic calculus sa senior high school. So, take note of that. The presumption when you take engineering, alam mo na yung lower math, no, which are trigonometry, geometry, algebra, and arithmetic. Okay, Kimberly, thank you. I hope we answered your question. Sir Joshua, would you like to? Wala na. Sige, Kimberly. Kimberly?
Sir, my question, sir,
Yes, sir. Apo.
my question kanina dyan na, regarding the civil engineering. Okay. Civil engineering have more than 10 fields. So when you are said you are going to take civil engineering, you are limited to one particular specialty. There are a lot of specialty in civil engineering.
Yeah.
But in order for you to be called as a civil engineer, you have to pass the PRC board exam in civil engineering. And they have major subjects. Number 1 is mathematics.
General
Number
mathematics.
2 is design, hydraulics, surveying. Those are the subjects that you will pass in the board exam. But unfortunately, here in the Philippines, when you see electives, there is no other choice. Electives, but it is you have to take those subjects, electives. Okay, unlike other university or outside the country or in the US, when you say electives, it's an elective. You can choose any course you want. Okay, you can take any courses you want to take. My son is a surveyor as his number 1 or his first degree, but he has a minor. His minor is art. So
that's cute.
She took other subjects other than surveying or other mathematics.
Engineer,
Here in the Philippines, what happened is that when you are an engineer and they said, oh, okay, you're an engineer, you take irrigation, you take roads, you take all these elective subjects given for civil engineer. You have no other choice but to take all those subjects. Okay.
Engineer, sorry, I have to cut you kasi our time is so limited. We only have 5 minutes. So maybe let's make this fast, no, answering some of the questions. If Kimberly is still available, you can turn your mic on, no? And then also Anne Margaret. Kung hindi, let me answer some of the questions first. Advice for pre-law, you can take ABM, some take STEM to for pre-law. Some take STEM and then get a course in what, kasi you can take any course before law, provided that there are some subjects that you need to take na required good. For example, what we call this, Rizal, tax reform, and all these things. So ako nga, engineering, when I asked na to take up law, what are the only subjects that I need to take? Yun, engineering, and then tax reform. Then I can already take law. So don't worry. As far as courses in college is concerned, you can still take up law. But to be more prepared for law, I know people, they take ABM to take up accounting to get law. But there are others who are doctors, who are lawyers now. There are others who took philosophy for law, others political science and sociology. Anything that you are into. Kasi eventually when you go to law, sabi ng mga lawyers, first year lang naman yan that there will be difference between you because of your preparation. But second year up, you are equals na. Okay, but what is important, again, si Sir Allan, no, our editor-in-chief in The Guardian, Daily Guardian, eto merong skill talaga to become a lawyer kasi one of the skills you need is writing. And not just writing, but organization of thoughts. And Sir Franz, it will not be far for Sir Franz to take up law and pass the bar because he has that skill already. So that's first, no? And then, pila ka years, nasabat na, additional question. What school sa Iloilo ang may course sa business and engineering? Almost all. Almost all, I think, no, na universities meron. Except that St. Paul, walang engineering but are business courses. But halos lahat na merong engineering at saka business courses, even state universities. What's your advice for learners who are having a hard time in choosing a career path they will take? So we will discuss that later in the closing. It was already discussed kanina. What's the reason I changed my passion, journalism to be? I did not change my passion. I still continue to write. No, but my profession is into education. No, so I just set aside that practicing journalism work, but journalism you can still take that with you. And that's sometimes if I write, I give the article to Sir Allan, and Sir Allan, in his graciousness, he publishes it naman. So for free. So thank you for that. Ang topic naman sa math. For STEM, ano ang mga main topic sa math? For STEM, the special maths are pre-calculus and basic calculus. All senior high school will take general mathematics and statistics and probability. But the only thing different from STEM compared to others is STEM has pre-calculus and basic calculus. Okay, take note of that. And in STEM, their physics, they have physics, chemistry, and biology, and their physics is calculus-based. So that makes the STEM more challenging. But the good thing with STEM is that when you go to college, mas marami kang choices of course. Maraming courses that you can consider. Ang ABM, marami din, pero when you go to gas, medyo kung hindi ka pa sure, then you take gas. Okay, but if you go to humanities, you take use. Okay, so that's it. Can you suggest what school offers the strand of ICT? I don't know, please help me on this. ICT, halos lahat naman na school nag-ICT. I will be biased if I say CPU, San Agustin, at saka ISAT-U, no? Pero may mga ibang schools nag-offer din ng ICT. So maybe the best thing to do is to check, Google it, anong mga schools may pa-ASCO accreditation. There's some schools who are more accredited by CHED than other schools. And sometimes accreditation is per department. So pwede ka ka-visit sa CHED and check anong mga schools na may mga matataas na accreditation yung mga colleges nila. Or maybe you can Google it, what schools, if your course has board exam, what schools matataas yung board exam performance, diba? So it doesn't necessarily follow na kung mahal ang school, better na school. Take note of that. So kaya sabi, no, kanina pa pabalik-balik ng mga speakers natin, do your research, no? Maximize Google. What are your thoughts about na-discuss na? Maraming mga engineering questions. Then ano pa ba? I think we answered some. Yeah, ito. Sir Allan, if you are still here, Sir Francis, I also like to ask question to Sir Francis in journalism. What field are in journaling other than being an editor? What advice would you give to become a journalist? Sir Allan Francis, are you still there? Any advice to become a journalist? Maybe short advice to become a journalist. In my case, I just love it since high school. My father is a poet, and so eventually I was forced to write in high school. And I joined the publication, and then diretso sa college, then I love it already. So it was a passion for me. For Francis, Sir Francis, sir, advice to become a journalist. Yeah, you're on now.
Yes. Advice, basa lang guru pirmi kag be interested with your surroundings. Because that's what journalism is all about, in taking interest in sa mga nakatabo sa palibot. And from that interest siguro, it starts ang imong curiosity to ask questions and report on it. While you have editors, siguro requirement man sa mga gusto mag-reporter, where everything starts in journalism, to master at least basic ang kabag nga grammar. Kay hindi lang man ang panami-nami sa sulat, kundi ang grammar para maintindihan ang sulat mo. Like kung hindi ka gani ka sulat sang bisan basic na lang na subject verb agreement, paano na ko maintindihan sa nagabasa ang imong sulat? Number one requirements in journalism is maintindihan ka. So, hindi man kinahanglan nga super master ka sa grammar, basic will do. Ang importante nga maintindihan ang ginasulat natin. Of course, curiosity of things happening around us, and then things like this hindi siya matudlo man lang sa in the limited walls of the classroom, kundi experience, panilag, attitude isa gid na. Kay bisan ano ka kaalam kung why kasing sakto nga panimuot o attitude, why ka man gid sing mabtan, either you want to become a doctor, an engineer, or something else. Kung ang paminatasan mo sa gusto mong matabo is hindi halog, kung hindi man diretso, why kagid man siguro sing padulungan. So that's number one, attitude in whatever career path that you want to follow, really counts a lot.
Yeah, so read and write, no? Read and read, write and write. Then write lang talaga. So yeah, meron pang ilagay ko muna dito sa chat box yung form. Nilagay ko sa chat box ngayon yung evaluation form. I hope you can answer them before we proceed. No, maybe in 5 minutes time we will be ending na. So may tanong dito, anong mga schools available that offer law? Correct me if I'm wrong. There are colleagues in the Rotary. For Iloilo, at least, no, I can say San Agustin, CPU, and West Visayas State University. Before UI, but the UI closed already. I think LaSalle also in Bacolod has law. No, I am not so sure with the different provinces. No, I don't want to miss. No, pero I'm sure the best thing to do is just Google it, and then I'm sure you will get what you want there. Maraming tanong talaga sa ICT, and many of my students are also getting into ICT. Just make sure that you know your math and you know your language, kasi ICT is really more on programming and common sense, no? So importante na you're really working on that area in your subjects also. There are many other questions. How many sa nautical engineering? So you have you have different universities, may John B naman at saka may other schools. So again, some of these questions pwede natin mag-Google, and others siguro more na on the things na masyadong maraming questions. So maraming salamat. Computer engineering talaga, business engineering. Okay. So some of the questions were already answered. So here's what I will do. I will give a summary very fast lang. Then after that, let's have our closing prayer. But before that, by the way, Sir Butch is saying something. I say you also look at data analytics. So let's also look at data analytics. So again, you have your, by the way, you have your guidance counselors in your respective schools. You have your significant others at home and even in school. they are also very good sources of advice, no, as far as career is concerned. And I hope and pray that whatever is your career choice, it will be well discerned, no, it will be well discerned. So before I proceed, let us give a round of applause to our sharers by giving them begin the virtual round of applause. Maybe a tada or a clap or a party hat, if we can. Can we give them, wala, parang wala ata. Kanya-hayanin. Medyo mahina talaga yung no, connectivity ng isa't isa. So, sige, let's go to the closing. Thank you so much, Sir Will, Doc Will, Engineer Anayas, Engineer Butch, Engineer Joshua, Sir Allan. No? Thank you so much for your sharing. I hope that they are all important and relevant to our students and participants here. We would like to end with this. No, so I got this one from Google. The one in the upper left says that before we choose our path, no, career path, let us, as sinabi na to kanina, let's make sure that we understand ourselves. We are aware of our weaknesses, our strengths, and the opportunities that we have in our own context, and the other things that we need to consider. Okay, and then after that, that's what we are doing now. Explore options, and exploring options can be done through internet, through Google, through talking to people, through listening to talks like this. And so I hope that you did not waste your time, kasi that this is one of the opportunities that others don't have. No? The opportunities to talk to people, no, professionals themselves who stumbled and fall and who eventually stood up and became successful in their fields. No? And then, so it wasn't just smooth na journey sa kanila. You have heard them say their stories. No? There are ups and downs, but eventually, out of persistence, the will, no, and then God's grace, they were able to get into their career of choice, and it doesn't stop, no. It continues, no, according to Engineer Anayas, no. Everything continues. We continue to learn. We continue to read. We continue to speak, so that our skill set, we can hone them. And that's the time after exploring all the options, getting all the data. Sabi nga ni Engineer Muyco, we have to make sense out of the data, no, data analytics, so that from that data in prayer, with God's grace, we can choose our specialty. In your case, you can choose your strand and track, no, for grade 10 especially. And then don't worry if you're not yet sure. It's normal, no. Some, they choose to take STEM because they're not yet sure. Others, they choose GA or general academics, no. So it doesn't matter so much, no. Don't worry, because sometimes people are not just sure because of their context. But what is important is it's clear that you continue to wrestle with your career path and every time of the day, and then eventually, slowly define what your career path really is. Because after choosing your strand and track, you eventually have to force yourself to choose your specific career path. Kasi hindi pwedeng career mo lahat. No, there should only be one, no? Or two, maybe, or three that you can. But do not forget your mental wellness, your health, no, in this process. Now, one thing on the lower right, this one I really love the most, and I usually share this one during guidance counseling talk, no, the ikigai. If you're not yet familiar with it, but please, even if you forget all the things we discussed today, please do not forget the Japanese concept meaning a reason for being, ikigai. If you want to look for that point where you are very satisfied with your reason for living, take note of this graph or table. No? Of course, everyone would like to be in what they are good at, in where they are needed, where they are loved and what they love, and where they are paid for better. Diba? That's what we want. Diba? And sometimes we just love it and we're good at it, but we are not needed and we're not paid well. Or sometimes we are needed and we're paid good at it, but we don't love the work and we're not good at our work, or we don't feel like we're good at the work. So this one will tell us na siguro baka in our discernment of what course to take or what strand to take, we can consider ano kaya ang passion ko. When we talk about passion, that is something about emotion. And it has nothing to do with money when you talk about passion. regardless of the money, that's what I want. No, it's it's a it's a it's an emotional thing. But mission is also important. Mission is the task given to you. Now, for us educators, ako, I'm an Ignatian educator, so I have this feeling, and I embrace it, that my mission is to form leaders who pursue excellence ignited by love and service. And these are young leaders. That's a mission. And may iba, ang mission nila is mission from God, no? Or mission to help others who are sick, di ba? So that should be defined. You have to define your passion, identify your mission. Vocation is something like your calling, no? Where you are called by God or by your people, and where you are good at or you are destined for. That is what vocation is all about. So pwedeng itanong mo, ano ba kaya ang vocation natin? And profession is your occupation. Okay? And if all these four will hit, no, and will jive, then you will reach your ikigai, the highest meaning of your life. So your time is not wasted. Everything that you do, you're happy, you're full. So take note of this, no? And this, I presume, will be a good framework, no, for you to consider. You can take a picture of it. It's a good framework for you to consider as you journey in life and decide what course to take, what's your passion, mission, vocation, profession, and what life you would like to take. So maybe in gist, from the 6 speakers, you are asked to do research, gather data. And there are many ways to do that. Read journals, read newspapers, Google your questions in Google, because Google answers a lot of things. And just make sure to know what is fake news and what is not fake news, what is a good source of information and what is not. Do research also, meaning interviewing people, attending seminars like this, talking to your guidance counselor, talking to your parents, asking for their advice, talking to your friends. Then consult. Yan, that's the twin brother of research. Consult people. These especially people who came before you, just like the professionals, no? And because they know better and they they had mistakes already and learned from it. So in order for you,
Sir Rich, please
din sana ako nag-stop. Sige, discernment.
discern.
So yeah, discernment. So discernment is something like you gather all your data, you gather your consultation, qualitative and narrative data, and in prayer, you think about it, you weigh things. That's what discernment is all about. Hindi yung pabara-bara, I decide to take STEM for whatever reason. Wala lang, gusto ko lang. Hindi pwedeng ganun, di ba? Kasi your time might be wasted for 2 years because of a failed choice, undiscerned choice. So then after discernment, commit to it. I think marami sa ating speaker nagsabi. For example, Doc Will said, and even Sir Allan said, no, if you want to be a journalist, if you want to be a doctor, dapat merong commitment. Kasi kung walang commitment, even if you have the skill and talent, wala pa rin kwenta. The law of attraction says that if you're committed to it, if you want to be a doctor, then intelligence is not enough. You know, you need to be very, very sure of ang fortitude mo, very strong to go through the process. Because kung wala kang grit, wala kang commitment, then you might fall, no, to the trap. And then the last one is evaluate. Kasi this is a constant making mistake thing, yung career pathing. And pangit na when you make a mistake and then you don't learn from it. And how to learn from it, you evaluate what you have done. Or even if you're not making a mistake, you still have to evaluate yung career path mo. Even at the middle of senior high school, is this the right career path of mine? Then write it down, evaluate it, and make some amendments if possible. And go back to research. You continue all this. This is not linear. These 5 are very important ways to move or to proceed with your career pathing. No? So these are all the things, inputs of our speakers, and we thank them for that. We also thank everyone for your presence here. And marami pa rin tayo hanggang ngayon. No? So thank you so much. So to help us improve our services, please fill out our evaluation form. And this is the link. I have placed the link in the chat box. Please, no, take time, short time lang, no, to answer our form so that we can learn from our mistakes and then improve our services. We still have another talk tomorrow for our grade 12. No? In this case, kanila, seryoso talagang question as serious as yours going to college, no? So now we end with a prayer unless otherwise there's some more concerns that we want to have. Wala. So before the prayer pala, I would like to request everyone to please turn on their cams because as usual, we would like to get sana a picture of everyone. So we can slightly lang, madali lang, please turn our cams on. Maraming salamat sa mga students and mga teachers who attended this talk. I hope that we made sense and I hope that you were helped. Again, pasensya na po kung hindi namin nasagot yung mga questions yun, but your questions are really legit. And these questions you can throw to your teachers and to your guidance counselors also. But hopefully, we have opened up your mind and you had your insights, no? Very good insights taken from our discussion. Please turn on your cams. We have only 2 frames with the cam with their pictures turned on. We'd like to request everyone to please turn their cams. I'll give you 10 seconds to turn your cams on. Sandali lang ah. We take the picture and then let's have a prayer. Okay. So, 5, 4, okay na? Naka-on na yung mga cams natin. Sige, let's have a picture. Okay. Smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Another one. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Yan. Then, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. Ayan. So, let's give ourselves a round of applause. We ordealed the 2 hours discussion. Thank you so much. Let's have a prayer. We offer everything, all our thoughts, all our concerns, all our desires, all our memories, our weaknesses, our strengths, our fears, and even our career in the name of the Father, of the Son, of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Dear Father, as we come to an end of our time together, we thank you for what has been accomplished here today. May the matters discussed serve as a catalyst to move us forward and cause us to advance and see growth in our career pathing for our lives, for our neighbors, for our loved ones, and for our country. May we leave here recognizing and you are willing to lead us forward. This we pray in the name of the Lord Jesus. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. So that's it. Madamugin niya salamat everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Yay! God bless you all. God bless you all. You have our email addresses, so you can email us anytime should you want to ask us some questions more. No? Thank you so much. Thank you. Salamat sa palakpak. Maraming salamat of your time. Thank you so much, dear teachers. Ma'am SP, thank you for joining us. We have a lot of attendees from San Agustin. I think there are 20 of them in the list. Okay, maraming salamat from those from Negros, Capiz, Aklan, Antique, and Guimaras. Thank you so much po. Maraming salamat for your kind words. Yan. Yan. Thank you. Thank you po. Doc Will, thank you. Engineer Jess.
Congrats, Sir H.
Thank you to us, Engineer.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Sir Franz. Sir Franz, wala na naka-on si Sir Franz. Congratulations to you. Thank you so much, dear students and teachers.
Ano may, ni-share ni Joshua ang secret ingredient in baking
Ang
cake?
secret ingredient sa cake, no?
Sa cake.
Mayroong TVL Techbook. Walang tanong sa Techbook. Pero may bakery, Sir, di ba, Sir Josh? Meron kasi you can get senior high school na bakery, focus mo. And then after ng grade 12, you will have your NC2 already. So after your NC2, automatic yan. After your NC2, you just have to get NC3 in order for you to be employed anywhere. You don't need to go to college. In fact, when I say anywhere, including Middle East, in other countries. So magandang ano din siya. Magandang direction din yung JT. Pero paano na-apply yung engineering doon, Sir Josh?
Mixture.
Chemistry.
Composition.
Chemistry.
Chemistry. Yun.
The chemistry.
Sir Jess, yung ano ba, yung property of roughness.
Rugosity.
The property of roughness. Yeah. Yun, sige. Hindi ka maka-mute.
Ma-apply mong imo nga na chemistry gin man.
Chemistry, no? Proportion, di ba?
Yeah.
Proportion, no? Sir Will, baka hindi ka na pwede tomorrow, no? Ano si Doc? Si Doc. Baka you can join still.
Yeah, I try. Ano naman I'm sure, di man mambal naman si Dr.
Kasi, medyo marami yan kasi especially kung STEM na sila. So, mas sigurado sila kasi they have chosen their strand na. So, normally, based on experience, magtatanong yan about specialization.
Mate lang ko yung buwas
Pero Sir Well, the problem that the medical professions are facing is that if they would like to